What's going on, everybody? It's Alex Driskell again from Sweet Georgia Sports coming at you today with how the Braves absolutely positively nailed the first day of the MLB draft. As you know, the draft was this week, and the Braves front office absolutely positively again nailed the first day of the MLB draft. Though they only had 2 picks instead of 3 last year, we only had one first round selection. We didn't have any competitive balance picks this year, and we had one second round selection. The first round selection was 5th overall, and the second round selection was 41st overall. Last year we had the 3rd overall pick, the 40th overall pick, and the 44th overall pick. So relatively in the same area as last year. But again, Braves absolutely nailed the first day of the draft, especially as they drafted Kyle Wright, Vanderbilt starting pitcher from this last year, 5th overall. Many viewed Wright not only as the best pitcher in the draft, but also as the best overall player in this year's draft. Again, he's a stud coming out of powerhouse Vanderbilt. It's really becoming clear that if you want to play pro ball and come through the college ranks, go up to Nashville, play at Vanderbilt, play under Tim Corbin, and you will more than likely be a solid pro player. But he's coming out of Vanderbilt with a very electric fastball to go along with a great arsenal of pitches that includes a 2-seam fastball, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. There's not really a lot of things that Wright needs to work on because his mechanics are very solid. If you didn't see it, John Smoltz was analyzing Kyle Wright, and he said his mechanics were right on par, right where they needed to be. But if there was anything that he could work on, it'd probably have to be his command, which can be inconsistent at times, and it kind of got him into trouble this year at Vandy. And also his changeup that he needs to develop more feel for. But nonetheless, the Braves got an absolute steal with Kyle Wright going 5th overall. Just to run down how Kyle Wright fell in the laps of the Atlanta Braves. The Twins selected shortstop Royce Lewis. He's a high schooler. Then the Reds selected top high schooler Hunter Green, who can play shortstop or pitcher, but they drafted him as a pitcher. Then 3rd, the Padres broke my heart because they drafted Mackenzie Gore, and I really wanted the Braves to draft Mackenzie Gore just because he was the best left-handed high school pitcher coming out in this year's draft class, and his upside is absolutely amazing. And it was just like a dream pick for John Coppolella and the Braves front office. And then 4th, the Rays drafted Brendan McKay out of Louisville. He could either gone as a top 10 first baseman or a top 10 pitcher coming out of college there in Louisville, but I believe the Rays selected him as a first baseman, which they really need. So that really left us either picking Kyle Wright or top high school outfielder Austin Beck, and we decided to pick Wright, which is the next best thing in my opinion, because again we further deepened our farm system and further deepened our pitching farm system, if you can even believe that, as we selected Kyle Wright. I think he's more of a Jake Arrieta type of pitcher. I think he'll be in the majors within the next 2 to 3 seasons because he's that good. I saw where Keith Law was answering a fan's question the other day. And Keith Law said coming in to the Braves farm system, he would probably rank Kyle Wright as the 1st overall guy in the Braves system, depending how Ronald Acuna, he's a outfielder, he's a 19-year-old, depending how he finishes the first half of Double-A out. We'll get more into Ronald Acuna in the future, but it looks as if Kyle Wright is going to be a top 5 prospect in this Braves farm system for years to come, and could probably reach Atlanta in the next 2 to 3 seasons, which wouldn't be bad at all. So moving on from Kyle Wright, we're going to go to the 41st overall selection, and it was the 5th pick in the 2nd round. And it was a hometown boy. It was Drew Waters out of Etowah High School in Woodstock, Georgia. And great pick. As the night progressed, many top outfielders were coming off the board. Guys like Austin Beck, he went 6th to the A's. Bubba Thompson, he went 26th to the Rangers. He was the top prep position player out of the state of Alabama at McGill-Tulane High School down around Mobile. Adam Hazley from the University of Virginia went to the Diamondbacks, I think. Jaron Kendall fell all the way to the Dodgers. He's from Vanderbilt as well. And then basically the best statistical offensive weapon in the SEC this past year, Mississippi State's Brent Rooker, was the first selection in the competitive balance round to the Minnesota Twins. So with that, the Braves front office kind of felt a little bit of heat, a little bit of pressure to add an outfielder to the farm system, which lacks an overall outfield depth. I know we have Ronald Acuna, Christian Pache, a bunch of those guys, Ray Patrick Didier, a bunch of those guys, but it kind of lacks an overall depth. But we selected Etowah High School's own Drew Waters coming out of Etowah. Waters was committed to play his college ball at UGA. His brother played there, but it's looking like he won't be suiting up for the Bulldogs as he's expected to sign with the Braves. He's noted as being the top position player in the state coming out of high school, with the potential to be a solid 5-tool outfield piece for the Braves. He's a switch hitter. He has great pop in his bat from the left side when he bats left-handed, but at the same time, he has better gap-to-gap power and better contact when he's swinging from the right-handed side of the batter's box. He's also noted as having great base running skills and plus defensive skills and a great arm that could really put him in any spot in the outfield. One thing that is a minus that is kind of a concern is that he does have some swing and miss tendencies at the plate because he swings really, really hard. But if he can get that squared away, expect the Woodstock, Georgia native to become like another Georgia high school star, and none other than Dexter Fowler, who came out of Milton High School in Alpharetta, Georgia in the mid-2000s. I think it was 2004 when he got drafted. In 2004 when he got drafted. And it's also an interesting note that Dexter Fowler's high school coach was also Drew Waters' high school coach, and he sees a lot of similarities and a lot of parallels between Dexter Fowler and Drew Waters' talent. But nonetheless, we got another steal of a pick with the front office taking Waters at 41st overall. Day 2, we added a lot of other guys. We added we finally got a high school pitcher, which has been the Braves' forte. Day 2 was on the 13th of June. So we got a lot of, I believe we got a lot of pitchers. We got a lot of low-risk high school guys and then just college guys to fill out that have more experience and a little bit of upside that are low-risk options coming out of college. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. I've been Alex Driskell from Sweet Georgia Sports. If you like any of the content here at Sweet Georgia Sports, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. That way you can get a notification when we post any content about the Braves, Hawks, Falcons, whatever. Leave a comment, share, give the video a thumbs up. Just share it. Get the word out that the Braves absolutely nailed the selections that they had on day 1 of the MLB draft. So with that, again, I've been Alex Driskell from Sweet Georgia Sports saying God bless and chop on, Atlanta.